Okay, so at this time, I'm going to show you a few things here. So this system was logged on, installed already, and we could just see some of the software that you could configure and run it. So one of the software, let's say, for Visual Studio Code, I could just say which Visual Studio Code, and that's already I had installed it. I will show you. So I could just get into Visual Studio Code and then have a nice graphical interface there. And here, just some sample I just wrote, and you could modify it, you could do whatever you want, and then just run it here, and then produce that output here. So if you're on the terminal, let's say that file is called copy hello.py, and I'm going to just say as num.py, and then I just created a file, so start.py. On this one, I have two files. One is hello.py and the other one numpy. This one by default is, if I did not have this file, let me just remove it, num.py. If I just removed it and then store.py, notice that it's not there. So cat -n hello.py has those lines, those two lines that I have here. If I just say copy hello.py and just call it num.py, because it doesn't say hello.py, right? I could just say, modify that one, hello.py, and then say vim hello.py, not vim hello.py, let's make it here. So I could say printf, print f string, and then say the number, we're gonna say x, and then colon hello. So that many times, it is a 10 remainder, so I could just change this one to say between range of 1 to 10, do that one to 11 actually, increment by 1 automatically, and then if we don't have to say any if condition, we just want to do that statement hello word 10 times. So I'm going to say hello word. So 1 to 10 is going to do this one. And then this syntax is there. If we run this one, it's just saying the old one because we have to save it. So under file, save all, you could say save all and then just run it again. And now it says hello world afterward, but why it did not go to print? You could say that, well, we didn't do anything with the for statement. So we have to say for item and X, let's say in this case it's X, we just have to change this one to item. And then that would go there, but because it's Python, we have to move this one under 4 characters to just have the right separator. And then now we save it again, save it, and then run it. This time it's going to say that statement 1 to 10. If I change this one, obviously, to a smaller number, you could all of a sudden 1 to 6, you see the same thing again. And you can, on the Visual Studio Code, you can set it up to automatically back up. So you don't have to just every time come in and say back up. So now it's done this. So just in case you wanted to see the other one with num, so I wanted to show you a few things that. So store.py, we only have one file called hello. Now, if we just want to say, let's say the num cat -n num.py, notice that file is having this, and the permissions are not there. So whether the permissions are set or not, if you just do this command, say Python num.py, it's going to just run the Python interpreter, is going to do it. But another syntax is that you do num.py like this, saying that from the current directory where I have num.py, executed. But that means that the permission of this file has to be executable by the owner. So in this case, I'm Wahid. I have to have read, write, execute permission. That means other people could run it, could read it, but not run it. So if I want to change it to everybody run 755. If I want to just only give U plus X that the user has executable, or 744, that would also do that. So at this time it says permission denied. So I'm going to say change mode U plus X num dot py. Now ls minus ld num dot py. It is the user has read, write, execute, U plus X does it. So if I just go back to the one that was change mode, you can do a minus U minus X, U minus X to put it back to the way it was. And so now U num.py, you see it is the back to the square one. I could have also do change mode, the octet number of 644, but 644 would have made it read write and read permission. So I'm going to say change mode 744, and then num.py. Now num.py has a read write execute for the owner. So I'm the user, meaning that the owner is Wahid, I can run that command. Group is also Wahid. So if I want to just make the group also permitted, then I could say change mode is 774. Other people cannot read, could read it, but not execute it. If I want to make everybody execute it, read, write, execute for the owner and group, and then other people could execute, I could just make it like this. Now num.py, the user and the group could read and write to it and then execute it, but other people could only execute it. So num.py, now it says that this is a Python program, but notice now we're getting a different error. This is saying that you have to say Python and then num.py, because the first line, if it is not interpreter, you have to provide this information here. So now use vim and num.py, and now modify this first line to say that shebang and user ben env Python. That means run the user ben env, the environment binary, to just load the Python interpreter first. Then every line that follows after that one is going to be syntax of less comprehension in this case, just to do it. So now if I just say cat num.py, that is there, I don't need to type in Python in front of it anymore. You can see it executes there. So a lot of the syntax, you just modify it there, and this is with Visual Studio Code here. Similarly, if you want to use Jupyter-Lab, for example, let's say Jupyter-Lab, we say which in Jupyter-Lab. So I had already installed that one previously, and then I say, if I just say Jupyter dash help, you could see all the arguments and everything is coming here. You can start the Jupyter-Lab by giving the information here. So ID-UN, you don't run it as root. If you run Visual Studio Code or Jupyter-Lab as root, then it's gonna fail. But you have to have write access where you wanna create it. So if I just start Jupyter-Lab here, I could make a directory called, let's say, programs, and then Python, and then say, sorry, you have to do a make dir minus p here, because the directory programs doesn't exist. So now I created programs as well as Python, so that and the programs got created, the subdirectory Python got created. And then what you want to do is go to programs, Python, and then now if I just say, well, do I have access to this directory? Yes, I do. And it says that, okay, touch this, it is there. RM this in there. So now if I just say, go to copy two files from the Python that I copied there, I'm just going to say, let's just do copy and store.py, and then just copy it here. Okay, and then here, if I want to just run it within Python, I could just jump into Python. That version I have already Python. I could say Python there, and then say import hello. Then just run the hello. Import none. So all of these modules are inside Python already here. If I just want to execute it, say, let's say import OS, and then say os.system. I want to clear my screen here from the OS level, and then come back here and then say, give me cat minus netpc os-release, and it says that you're on Kali Linux. Okay, that's great. Can you give me a list of all the pet list here? So notice that there's a lot of them, 708 of them. And then if I just do a clear screen again here, and then do this one, say word count minus L, notice that it's 729 of them. Okay, what about NumPy and other ones are there or not? So say egrep minus I, and then I say NumPy pandas requests. Let's say I want to see all those three with an egrep. Remember the find string that I was showing you? I said that's equivalent to egrep. The egrep stands for expression global regular expression print. Extended, sorry, not expression. You could put an expression here or extended global regular expression print. Grep command is one command that you could search for a string, and then fgrep is a fixed string search. But egrep, you could have multiple with the OR statement. It says either this string or that string or that string. If any of them are there, show me the ones that are there. So notice that I just started these ones and this one is there. Python is complaining with the system, says that you're using this single code and you closed it starting with NumPy. Either just do this one all uppercase, double quote, or do this one with double quote. So in this case, I'm going to do the first one a double quote, and this argument is part of the egrep command. So that's how the syntax works. Now you get the version that you want. So let's say you do this one, and then I'm gonna do a clear screen to give you a better screen, and then run this command. Now notice that we have those ones. In order for you to double check on this one, I could also do import NumPy as NP. So let's see if we do have that version there in NumPy. And then we could say print f string, and we say NumPy, then /t, and that's tabs. So we could have some spaces there. And then after that one, followed by np dot double underscore version, double score. That would give you the Python NumPy version, and then close this one and then do that one. So NumPy, okay, the /t did not interpret it correctly. It was the \t, not the /t. You can see that I mistyped it while I was doing it. And then you can see here, NumPy is that one. So if I just go up arrow and then clear a screen and then do this one, The first one is giving you this. Now for the NumPy, you can see that this one is giving you that one. Similarly, if I want to see pandas, let's see if pandas is okay. Pandas is the name, and then the alias, we call it PD when we import it. I don't know if I imported it yet. No, I didn't. So if you try this one, it says that the PD is not defined. So in order to do that, when you say import pandas as PD, that will load it now, it will work. Similarly for request, so import request as R for whatever you want to do it as R, or just load it like this and then just say now, and instead of this one, you say request the name here, and then right here request a dot version. So notice that I'm using the double underscore for all of those ones. How do you know that what is this double underscore and where to find it? So let me clear screen here. I'll show you one more tool that is going to help you out. So remember that the dir of NumPy, all these modules are there. And then on the top, you could see some of the double underscore docs, and then double underscore version, and so on. All of them are there for each one of them. NumPy has a lot, so they're of let's say they are called magic or double underscore dunder methods, magic methods. And so you could see for requests. Are there, and then one of those ones most likely somewhere here is the double score version underscore version. Similarly for pandas, PD, you could see the double underscore is there. If you just did not get it in a glance like here, okay, I didn't do it, you could say something like this. Say for item and dir of let's say NumPy. Dir of NumPy, we want to do that one and say if the string double underscore version is found in item, then print that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, print item. So that one is going to print that one, and you can see the double underscore version is one of this. So you could say numpy dot double underscore version, and it's going to do it. You can say, yeah, that's showing me the version, but what kind of information is it? You can do a numpy type on it, and then you could see it's a class of string. Since it's a string, you could just do a lot more to it. So you could say numpy dot double underscore version underscore and dot to upper or upper. Whatever method that is available, you could just see. Since it is a string, it is not making any numbers. Whether you change it to lowercase or uppercase, it's still the same. But if you want to just put like name as equal Wahid, and then now, sorry, name is equal Wahid. Why is it not defined? Okay, it's not defined. Oh, because you have to put it as a string. It is that is a string. Now, type of name is there, so you could say name and dot upper. Now that one is going to change it to upper. Name dot lower. So it is object oriented. You could just say dot lower, but then you can just change it back to upper. You don't want to do that one, but there's a lot of reason for you at some point that you could do object oriented, which is this is the object, and you could say this method, run this method for it, then run this one method, and then so on. I mean, you could also say print slash new line character, and then times 50. Let's see if we could do clear screen like that. And then at this time, I'm going to just do os.system clear screen so I could have it on the top. That's better. And then at the same time, the syntax that we were doing here, the upper, you could say a lot of other ones. So door of name, you could see all the variables are in there. That we were just using the lower and upper and then left string and right string. All of those ones are there, okay? The title and then capitalize it, so on. Okay, so this is inside Python, and if I go here, clear screen, say Jupyter-Lab, now this is going to open a Jupyter-Lab, and notice that it's opening it on port 8888. By default, this is the screen, so whatever color that you set it last time, it is going to open it in this, but you have this option under theme, you can just change it to light and you just do it that one. And if you have right permission, you just open it and do the commands. So if I just want to run a host command, pwd, print working directory, it just stays that. If I just want to say, let's say calendar command, just to give me the calendar, it's there. So calendar command not found, that means ncal is not installed. So I could say pep sudo pep install ncal. So now what I'm saying is not pep, sorry, apt install ncal. So this is saying that this bang is saying go to the operating system level from Jupyter-Lab, run the apt with sudo and install the new calendar. So this will try it and says, give me the password for Wahid. So at this time, I did not type the password for Wahid because I'm not sudo. In order to do that one, you can also go here and then don't have to exit out. You can open a console or a terminal. So if I go open a terminal here, now notice that ID-N is Wahid. So let me just change the setting to darker theme so you could see it better for your eyes and my eyes. White is too much for me on that one. I could not tell the difference. Some of the text were also lighter color on white. So I'm gonna just say sudo -su this, and then I'm gonna say my password, and now I'm logged on as root. So since a calendar command did not work, it says, okay, this is not installed. Do you want to install ncal? It already prompted me. If I just did not know the package name, I could just say yes there. But I know the package name, so I say apt install ncal. So I could type in that command. It will just go through the installation, and then once it's done, now I'm here. I could just say clear screen and say calendar command is run. Calendar minus B2, that gives me 2 months before current month, November. Calendar minus A after 2 months. So we're on November, 2 months, January 1st is falling on Wednesday. And so earlier, have a good Christmas and have a good holidays. That is now Thanksgiving, and the New Year is coming. I hope you all enjoyed your New Year. We're gonna have love and peace all over the world. 2024 was horrible. We had a lot of people, innocent people died, including innocent children. Hopefully, we will have peace moving on next year. So let's go back to the calendar. We looked at it, and I'm going to just close this thing because I already opened here. So now if I just say, well, this one, I don't need this one because this one requires a root privilege. But now if I rerun this one, it's going to work. Calendar command, if I just rerun it, what happens? The output is not showing. So let me just say calendar. Yeah, I'm gonna close that one and close this one, and then just and instead of this one, say host name. Let's see if the output changes. Yeah, the output somehow doesn't change. So I'm gonna close this one and say leave this one. Sometimes you have to restart the session. Sometimes I could have just done a restart there, but let's just go up again with this one. So simple. You could do that one, or I could have just done a restart the kernel or open another kernel. So here, the kernel, you can see shut down the kernel, shut down and reconnect to the kernel, restart kernel. You could do all of that one. So since these are there already, and then I'm going to try to run this one. And then when you're running it on this one, and this one was not needed anymore because I installed it from the command line. Here you could say calendar minus B2 would do the same thing. Shift, enter would just run the cell. So if I say, show me calendar minus A2, 2 months after November, you could see that it is giving you those information. And if you say, give me in Julian format, calendar minus J, in Julian format, you could just see that to output a Julian format. So this is not just the calendar command, you could do anything. Say pep list, and then just give me a list of them and do a word count minus L. So that is how many Python packages that are there, 729. That's a lot. And if you just say, don't give me this, give me a list of them, what are the package name, you will get the package name there. So there's a lot of good stuff there with IPython and Jupyter and interactive Python. I have shown you on a lot of videos already, whether it was on Linux or on Windows. You're welcome to watch them. And then I'm going to close this one so I could move on with the next topic. I leave page in here. We're going to do a Control-C out of this and then say, yeah, go ahead, shut down the Jupyter-Lab. I don't need it anymore. Let's see. Shut down, yes, and then clear screen, ID-UN. So you can see here we're running it. But how do I know if I'm running like Tiger VNC or what is services? Remember PS minus P or minus Q1, it will tell you that it's, you're running a net as system D. So whether you type in minus P1 or minus Q1, it gives you the same thing. But then you can say minus O for optional command is equal, and then you can see the name of the command itself. There's a lot of syntax with these options that I could show you, but at this time, let's just get to say that we're using a net system D. So a net system D, if I just do this one, you could see that a net Kali Linux is done, that's the command, and then there's the time and this. So when I say there's more option, you could say minus O. If you want to see that process ID of it, you could say PID, comma, terminal name, which is the TTY, and then comma, time, which is the time, and then the actual CMD, the command. So that will give you the same without, this is like default, but you could also provide those information. PID is this, the terminal name is that, and then time is this one, and command was this one. So depending on the syntax, what you provide here. At this time, let's just go and do, we did this one, but notice service itself is saying that you have something within system D that you can run a service. Service is equivalent to system D on the system 5. System 5 is using a net. So the older version of 6.6 and down, all the way where we were calling it a net, which is system 5 release 4. And then after that one, on version 7, Linux come out with system D. So system D was Red Hat and Rocky and CentOS and all of those ones, Fedora, all of them came out with system D. Now Ubuntu, everything, starting with 16 and up, they are system D. That means services change to system D. System D is on WSL is also provided to some levels, but it's not on the Linux Ubuntu is to the extent that you want. But on Linux Kali, it is just services, not system D. So if I just say service dash dash status dash all, it's giving me a list of all the services that are configured. Word count minus L, it tells you there are 46 of them. So if I just grip on that one, notice XRDP is one of them. So if I just say, okay, show me the grep minus I and XRDP, for example, it will just highlight the XRDP matching there on that syntax. So what does that mean? So if I just say sudo su dash, and then I'm going to become root. Now I say service XRDP status, then I could say it is running currently. That means this XRDP that sysman is running. So how do I know that it's running? PS minus EFA grep minus I XRDP, you can see that that process is up and running. That means that the port that is by default one that is configured, on those ones you can see it. So which netstat is there. So if it is not there, you have to install nettools. But usually they are not there, so you have to say app install net-tools. Since it's already there, it says requirement already met, so you don't have to install it. But netstat command is available. So netstat minus an show me all the ports that are there. If I want to see that the list of ports that I'm listening, grep minus I listening. So minus I means skip the uppercase, lowercase. So I say listening, right? So all of these ones has the word listen or listening. It's listening and there. So and the one that is XRDP is port 3390 and 3350. So if I just go here, say clear screen, netstat minus an and grep 33, and then it's going to show me everything that is showing the 33. But if I want to say 3390 or 50, let's just do this one. We say 33 followed by a 50 or 5 or followed by a 9. And then it will match those ones. But notice these ones are there also. And then followed by a 0. So if I just clear the screen and say followed by another 0 after this one, I'm specifically picking up what I want. So regular expression on syntax is very useful. And at the same time, if you say, well, show me the process ID of that one. How do I know that? List of open file, LSOF. Sometimes when a system runs into culprit, or you have to identify what is the process ID of a given system, and the netstat or a PS command or LSOF is your friend. You just have to type in that one. So 3390, it's going to give you saying that XRDP is running. If I just go 3350, similarly, it's going to show the sysman that is there. And then notice that process ID of each one of them are different process ID. 4936. So LSOF minus P. If I want to just get the 4936, for example, I could just say, show me that process ID. And notice that all the sysman process IDs for XRDP is there. And then including the binary. So previously, when I did this command, excuse me, this one 4936. So if I say 4936, and then the other one was, sorry, let me just do 90, and then the 4935 process ID minus P, and then 4939, not 35, 39, and then you can see that for the XRDP. And notice that the files are under etc XRDP. Those are the files that are there. XRDP is one of them that you could configure. XR sysman is another one. And normally you want to just get the list of IP addresses. If, in order for you to not show the MAC address, you could say, excuse me, you could say IP and show Ethernet 0, and then grep minus inet, and then add minus 1. Let's see what is that gonna give us. IP show IP A. I missed the A for address, and then show. So now we got the IP address here. But in order to get that one, you have to say add minus, auth print $2. This one is going to give you the IP address, but slash 20 for the CIDR notation. So I'm going to say, while you're doing that one, do a cut minus D, delimiter slash, and then after that one, field 1. So now I get the IP address of this. That means if I'm running Tiger VNC or another one, I could just connect to this port number. But notice here, I could say PS minus EF, grep minus I, Tiger VNC. It is Tiger VNC is already running on this port. So I must have a port with 5900 also, because this 2, the display number tells me that I'm running 5902, which is right here, that port. So if I say LSOF minus I colon 5902, then you can see that it is listening on that one, X Tiger VNC. That means if I'm running on this one, I could connect to this machine using Tiger VNC viewer. This is the client version. Tiger VNC is kind of like free software that is on the internet available for you, similar to Real VNC. Real VNC is commercial, you have to pay for it, but Tiger VNC is general public license, so it is free to use, and then you can use it for that purpose. So notice that that IP address that I just provided to you with this command 172.24.74. whatever number, and then that port number 5900, I have to type in the port number after the IP address with colon 5902. If your display is 1, then that would be 5901. If your display is 3, then it's port number 5903. So the display starting at 100, every time you open a new display, that number increments. The display number is colon 2, and then the port number is 5902. The display number is 5, the port number would be 5905. I hope you got that. So right here, I'm going to type in my password. And right there, I'm connected to the terminal here. So as you notice here, if I just go on these sites, sometimes these display, the way it works is a little bit tedious, because there might be a bug, because a lot of people reported this one, saying that I cannot click on the menu to just see the content of it. Previously, I was able to do it, but once I did some update, it might have just caused the problem to just appear. And then even though I shut down the system, it did not got it. And then I know that other people, they had some of these comments here. Some people, they wrote it as a bug report, and then all of this is already in the forum. So the suggestion is that, well, you could just go ahead, clean up your system, install the drivers, and undo the software and this and that. Everybody has some suggestion, depending on what works for one may not always work, because it might still be under development. That's why everybody is having like a bug report or something. But I'm going to try a couple of things, and if it doesn't fix it, I can fix it a different way on my system. You can install a version for VirtualBox or something else, or maybe reinstall the software. I might fix it. I'll try that one. And if it doesn't fix that problem, at least Kali developers could see how to just duplicate the scenario and then where they can find the problem. So that's why when we test this software, it's good to report it to them as you find out. That way they can troubleshoot and fix it, right? So why am I on this screen? maybe it's good reason for you to just go to some of these videos and watch them, but let's go back to the topic we were covering here, and it's this right here. So you can see here, if I just move my cursor, it's not giving me information. If I try to right click, it's not giving me that information. The only option I have is press F8 to just have it full screen, and or like full screen, and then and just F8 and then just highlighted the full screen. So this is like still not giving you that button. So notice that as soon as I move my mouse anywhere, it is just disappearing. On VirtualBox, it used to be like that. You could press Control T. I tried those once and did not come back here. And so maybe there's a shortcut if you figure it out, or something, or you're a developer on this thing, and just let the people know that this issue is resolved. So let me just take care of it another way that I think it might solve it. But by the end of this video, we will know for sure. So let's get to just press F8 here and then say get out of full screen. I'm gonna close this one, and then now I'm here. I'm gonna say, okay, that's good. Uptime is here, is just saying that 4 hours and 54 minutes, right? So I'm going to shut down this machine. I could do shutdown here. Normally, if you do shutdown H now, it's going to power off, but this system is not under system D, and it's not working in this way to power it off. So I'm going to exit out of here and then say exit out here. And now close this one also. And then I'm back on the Windows PowerShell as system administrator. So let me just exit out of this one to show you, like if I open a new one here, right click here. Let me just right click here and say run as administrator and open it. And now I'm right here where I was. So how do I shut down that system? First, from the command line, you could type in WSL-L to give you a listing, dash running. It shows what is running. So you can see I'm running Kali Linux and then Windows subsystem. Those two are running. If I just say Windows subsystem and just -L, give me a list of what is running. You could see what I have installed. I have installed more than just Kali Linux, right? You can see that I have installed Oracle 9.3 and 9.1 and Fedora, Ubuntu, and Kali Linux. So, and then Kali Linux is the default one. You can also switch it, say WSL-S, switch to, let's say, Fedora, and then now WSL, the default one is Fedora. But I want to just go back to Kali Linux, WSL-S, switch Kali Linux, and then switch it to that, WSL-L. Now it is there with Kali Linux as default one. So if I just run this one, it's giving me that option, but then I could say -O for online, or -online, or -list is equivalent to -L. -online is equivalent to -O. So you could do that one, and you could see what is available for you to install. But at this time, we're interested on what is currently running, right? And so I'm going to say --running, and that would say Kali Linux. So if I just, since that is the default one, if I just type in WSL, automatically I drop into Kali Linux. And then if I say uptime, you can see it is that monitor. But notice my background doesn't look good. I don't care, because I'm going to exit out, and then I just want to shut it down. So how do I shut down? To say, and instead of 4 hours and 54 minutes, how do I shut down? Say WSL dash. First, I want to terminate it. So I'm going to terminate it. This is just stopping it. But then I'm going to also do a --shutdown, shutdown-cell name Kali Linux. This is also powering it off, shutting it down. So -T for terminate, to stop all the services, and then dash dash shutdown dash cell name C, Kali Linux will shut it down. So at this time, if I say WSL dash dash online, not online, dash dash list dash dash running, you could see that there's no running process. Or you could for short say dash L dash dash running, that would also show that there's no run. So it is not running, but if I say WSL dash L, just show me what is WSL Kali Linux with default is there. So I could just type in this and it will just spin off there. But now host name is that, and then say cat minus n etc os dash release is Kali Linux, and then uptime is going to say 0 minutes because it is not anymore 4 hours in that. So since we shut it down, we're going to just clean it up, the entire thing. Notice that you're on the WSL. I'm going to close this one. I say, well, at this time, how do I know where the actual binaries are there? So your friend at Microsoft Store is going to just help you on that one. You click on this one and then look for Kali Linux, WSL Kali. And you know that it is already installed here. See, it's installed. There's no button here to just tell you that how to uninstall it there. The thing that you could do is, when we did it, we could also unregister it and also uninstall it from the command line. So I'm going to just say right here, say run as administrator, and then open it. So now I have this one. I could just say a couple of commands. So WSL config is the command, right? Config is just by itself. If you just do it, it gives you all the syntax here. So WSL config /u means unregister, and that is Kali-Linux. You could do this one, or you could say something like this. WSL-unregister the distribution name Kali-Linux. These two are equivalent, whether you do one or versus the other one. So if you type in WSL config /u Kali-Linux, it will unconfigure it. And then this one also unregistered, then this one is unregistered with WSL command itself. Your choice. Whichever one you do is you can do those ones. So I'm going to press enter here to unregister it, and then let's see. I think it is doing it, or maybe it is taking a little bit time. So let's see. Sometimes if your prompt is not having, my prompt was not having control over it, so I had to press harder on the keyboard. Now it says unregistered successfully. So that is there. I could also say WSL --uninstall this one, and then dash and the distribution name, and then say Kali-Linux. This one will uninstall it also from command line. So if it doesn't do it from the command line, uninstall of it, then you have to do it from Microsoft Store. So now this one is uninstalled. Let's see, WSL-L, and then just by itself, it says that there's no Kali Linux here anymore. But let's see if this uninstall succeeded from the store. So if you just go back to Microsoft Store and search for this one, Kali Linux, it still says it's installed. Oh, now it says open because it's already available here. So it is still has not installed it from the store. The way we want to uninstall it here, you could just right click here on the your start menu and then go under installed apps to see if that apps is still installed on your system. So notice that I'm going to minimize these other one, so you have only that one. Let me just walk you through the step that I did. I'm going to close this one. The way you want to do it is right click on the start menu and click on install apps. Once you go here, then you look for the apps that is installed on your system. Install apps, and you see which one is there. The one that you want to look at is Kali Linux is there or not. So let's figure it out. And then right here is there. So that's there. Now I'm going to have option of advanced options or uninstall. Since it is advanced option, notice it has about 226 megabyte of modules and all those software that I installed. That means Kali Linux is installed on the system, and that's the version, that's the app storage, and then the data that is there, and all the options. So you can also terminate it here, reset it, or repair it. Repair, another one, sometimes could fix a few of the bugs issues. You could try it there. But in this case, I want to uninstall it because the uninstall from the command line still has it. So I'm going to just click on uninstall and just uninstall it completely. Okay. So let's see if I come back again on the Microsoft Store. Sometimes the option you have to give it a little bit time. I just did not give it a time. It just still says install. Let's see. Yeah. And right now it says that it is not installed, but it says it's open free if you want to install it. So that's one way you could do it there. And then the other thing is that you can also do it from command line. So whether your choice, whether you want to do it from here, it's a simple open it because it's already installed, and then you just open it. Okay, I think the software that we selected to delete it is still working on it. That's why this option doesn't work. How you click on it, it comes out. It is still getting updated. So let me go back here, see if that one is still available under the install list. So here we just go all the way to the bottom, and then Kali Linux was somewhere here. Like we removed it. I'm going to search for it, say search for find Kali, and no results found. So it is uninstalled. That's a good thing. So now I'm going to go back to Microsoft Store and then search for Kali Linux, a new search, and say Kali. Let's see if what is showing under Kali. And then right here it says this is available for free, and now it says get. That's a good thing. So because we uninstall it, a new version is saying that you want to download it from Microsoft Store. That is how you do it. If you want to just do it from the command line, I show you a command line, and then we could just also get it from here. Either choice. Let's just do it from command line because last time I think I did not use this one. I'm going to use this one. So last time I showed you on other videos from command line, which is run as administrator. And the way you do it, they say WSL dash install, and then dash D distribution, or Kali dash Linux. This would just do the installation there. So in this case, I'm going to just show you the WSL help command, because that one is basically finding all the help with the dash install and everything, or on this help. And when you can see that the import, if you're importing it from a distro, you can get it also. Some of those ones are on the vendor side, you have to get it. And you see dash install option here. You're basically doing it in the dash distribution or dash D for distribution, and then you could just install them there. And then right here, you could see that example -D for distro. So you could, instead of the Ubuntu, after -D, you could just type in Kali Linux. If you don't put the -D, by default, it's assumed also. So if it says that I did not understand it, you have to put the -D. Not a big deal. But here now, since we are doing it from the graphical interface, I'm going to say Git. So it's getting it from Microsoft Store, and it's going to get a new version there. Remember the 3 commands that we did on the command prompt here already? I believe we already showed you the versions here. So let me just clear the screen. If I didn't show you that one, ID, not ID. So you could say WSL --set -default version 2. That would just set your default, and notice that this URL comes in. If you just say open that URL, this is basically, you need to do this one so your system is ready for it. Not open, actually start. The start that service is a PowerShell command. You just open a PowerShell browser using a start command, and then that the browser, the URL that I pass on is giving you this. And notice this one, the version 2, has the kernel support, system D support also, version 2. So you could do a system D, and also the full Linux kernel support is also there. So these options that are there are important. That's why the documentation was useful. You can read the rest of them, and I'm just showing you here. The next command that was on this one that I already showed you this part, the second command is this one, enable the Windows system options. So if you do that one on the command line here, and just run that one, it's going to just do the Microsoft Windows Subsystem Linux, enable that one. Once that one is set online, that is good. Then the third one is this one, which is the deployment image services. So you just select it from here. And then I just put it in both places. That way you could just copy it from wherever you want. That's in the graphic. You cannot copy it, but the other one you could. And then coming back on this to this prompt, let's see the prompt that's right here. So this one, and then you run it, and it will just set your option for the virtual machine platform also. So if I just clear my screen now, you did those ones at the PowerShell command, and then what I want to show you, these three options, you could also type in feature on this one, not this turn on Windows feature on and off. So the first one is the default one is from command line, but the features for the virtual machine here, it is already selected, checked. Virtual machine platform, and also the Windows subsystem for Linux is checked. Make sure those two are checked, and after you reboot your system, you're all set to go with that one. So now it says Kali Linux installed. All you have to do is type in open. But notice that if I'm on the command prompt here, on the command prompt and clear my screen here, WSL-L, now that -L is going to tell me that if that system is available. At this time, I have not started off yet, right? So if I just say WSL, maybe the distribution name Kali Linux, it's going to just go from the command line. But usually if you reboot your system, you could do it, or you could just say, since it's there, just open it. This one will just open a terminal window the way you want it on the terminal. It says installing this may take a few minutes. Notice it gives you an error here. Failed with error code. This one, error code, press any key to continue. So I'm going to press any key to continue, and it failed. So let's see why it failed. Does it fail again? Installing this may take a few minutes and then it fails again. So that is unspecified register. And I think there was, this one was also reported as a bug or something, but I don't recall how I fixed it. I'm going to just do it from command line. Maybe I did it from command line, okay? So I'm going to say WSL-L. Here it is, Kali Linux is not there. I'm going to say WSL distribution name, because with the other one, when you do it from Microsoft, you're not using administrative privilege. But now I'm on PowerShell, I'm at administrative privilege. Maybe that's why. So I'm going to say -- install and then Kali -Linux. So I'm going to try that. Clear screen, and then I need to do a -D for distribution name and Kali Linux. So the -D is required. Remember, it was failing before. Now I'm doing it with the administrative privilege. It might just work on it. It still says error this one. Continue this one, launching this. So launching Kali Linux rule this, and let's see if anything was launched here. It's not. So it requires a reboot. That might be the problem. If I just cut and paste this one and say, what is this error here mean? And then let's say under, go to this google.com and then search for this error, say, not that, right here. No, it's not copying it from there. Okay, let me see what is the option I have here. So WSL -install -D, it says that Kali Linux rolling is already installed. But when you try to get a listing of it, it's not showing up here. It looks like it requires a reboot of the system, but I cannot reboot because I have to record it. So let me see if I could do it without the reboot somehow. I'm going to just say store here, and then just click on this one. And then now this one, it shows that it is there. Let's see if we can open it from the graphical interface, and you see this may take a few minutes. But if it goes again with the registry information, that means it is somehow the registry is kind of having an issue, unspecified error, and the registry distribution field with error code. So let's see if we can just go back to this and say search for everything that is on Kali Linux. I want to wipe it out, everything here, or repair it or something. So let's see under the Kali Linux, does it show here or not? If it doesn't show here, then yeah, it does show. And so now here it says advanced option uninstall. This one under the uninstall, I'm going to try to say go ahead, reset it or repair it. So at this time we have an option to reset it or repair it. Repair would just try to fix it, but most likely it doesn't. Let me just see here. Kali Linux is still not there. So clear screen here. And this is not still there. So let's do reset it here. It says this will permanently delete the app's data on this device, including your preferences and sign-in details. So that's fine. Just delete it because I don't have it working anyway, right? So that is there, and then we want to just uninstall it also or not. Let's see what is showing now under the store. The store, Microsoft Store. So you can see that sometimes when software is under development, it is there. Now this one says install. I'm going to click on open it. If it still goes under this one, then we have to do it from command line. Maybe we have to do, it still goes through that issue. And then that install did not work. And the open is not working. So let's just completely remove it from here, uninstall it. Yeah, the problem with reboot is that Microsoft stuff, every time that you need to refresh it, there should be an easy way to just do your work without rebooting or without scheduling a reboot or something, because sometimes you're in production, you cannot do reboot on the fly. So let me just see what I can do here. Now we have it WSL-L, and then we want to just get to do this one with Fedora and then Ubuntu. Let me just save. I'm already root. I'm gonna say WSL dash uninstall dash this. If it was already installed or anything, I'm gonna try dash D. Since it is not installed, I could say, let's see if it's unregistered. There's nothing there, so I don't have to unregister or uninstall. Let's do clear WSL dash install dash D Kali Linux. I'm going to try it from the command line this time rather than using Microsoft Store. If that succeeded, then it's good news without rebooting. So launching Kali Linux, rolling, and then so far so good. Let's see on the blue screen that it opens. Yeah, instead of just having that error. Okay, so it is stuck. Okay, so this error is about that I found out the issue. Well, if you're using the set dash default dash version 2 for Kali Linux is having a problem similarly for Ubuntu, and somebody was suggesting on Ubuntu that you need to just go to your default local directories and set the permissions of some of stuff and other stuff. But for Kali Linux, it's an easier solution. And then I found it on this URL on this one is Stack Overflow. And you can see that all we have to do is set the default version to 1. After the software is installed, we can set the default version back to 2, and that would work on it. For the Ubuntu, they were suggesting that if you are seeing the same issue on Ubuntu, you have to look for pros ID 53 and then do a task list first and just search for the pros ID 53, then task kill that pros ID, and then do this one. But do your kind of research before you do this activity, because everybody is suggesting a solution. You don't want to just have some thing that is later on causing another problem. But this is standard. I think I did it last time also. So I'm going to do that, the set version here. Remember that we had this option of set version 2. I'm going to just change that to version 1 first. Then we do this step. So let's just close this one and then go back to my terminal here where I say that installing it. So I'm going to say set the version to 1. And then after you did this one here, we're going to do the installation. This installation now should succeed there. And right here, you see that the option of -- enable that WSL1, you could do that one as well. And so that is something that it did not recognize that enable option, but because of the previous one that I did set default version 1, and now this should not fail. Let's see. This is going to go to that syntax, like you could see here. The option that I set was that set dash default dash version 1. And now it's going to just work through the installation. It should succeed. So if you are getting that error message with that rolling register or whatever, that variable with some ASCII characters and some hexadecimal, it's still giving you that error. So it did not work on it, even though I did this one. It might require the reboot. Let me just say exit out of this one, and I'm going to completely delete it again, because somehow before we do these options, you have to set your terminal option to that one. So let's just set the terminal option to 1 here first. And now I'm going to say WSL dash L, see if what is available right now. It is nothing here, but I'm going to just go under Microsoft Terminal Service Console, not Microsoft Terminal Console. I'm going to go under Store and then install apps and look for Kali. And then under Kali, whatever it is there, I'm going to delete it. Excuse me. Right here, this one, I'm going to delete it, say uninstall it, uninstall. Okay, now it's uninstalled. And then the next thing we could do is go to command line and try that one from command line again. I think after you do set it to option 1 and all those other activity, it might just do it, but let's just make sure that the other options are also set. Within this PowerShell session, I want to make sure the other options are there as well. So the option 1, I'm going to run it once. Sorry. Clear screen here, and the option 1 is there. The next one is you want to just enable these options. Each of these subsession is important to just make sure that you are doing it within a session of the terminal that you open. So these variables are in place. Now it's doing that. Okay. The next one is this one, and then that one. I'm going to copy this line and then paste it on this line here. And that's also done. So that's good. So clear a screen and do the WSL. This time with the install option of this and saying that go ahead and install it. So we're not using the Microsoft command store. We're using it from the command line. And it says that it has been installed and Linux rolling. If it still fails after this one, then it only requires a reboot. Then I have to just make it in 2 session videos to just post this one for you. Yeah, it's still failing there. So let me just make it to a video. I need to reboot my machine and just make sure that this error does not show up afterward. And then we could do that one. But before that one, I just want to make sure that you understand that there will be a second video after this one because it requires a reboot. So if the reboot fix it, then we have 2 videos. Otherwise, this video is going to be this error at the end of it, then I don't want to just post it. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, I just have to make a decision on this one. I'm gonna end this one. Okay, so I'm just letting you know that I will post the second part of this video after the reboot. And so you have 2 videos on this one. Take care. God bless you all. Bye-bye.